I spent a decade trying to make love stretch far enough to cover betrayal. I stayed after the first affair. I stayed after the second. Even after the third. I tried to hold on to some version of us that I thought could be rebuilt. But the woman I married was not the woman I was sleeping next to. Or maybe she never was. Maybe I just saw what I wanted to see. And I paid the price in silence. In panic attacks behind closed doors. In the slow erosion of my sense of self. She didn't tear-cry when I left. She didn't teach me. And maybe that hurt even more than the betrayal itself. Now, months later, I'm standing at the edge of something I never expected. A future without her. But before I step forward, I need to look back one last time. It took me a long time to understand that grief doesn't always follow death. Sometimes it walks beside you, while the person you lost still breathes. In the weeks after I left her, I moved into a small apartment above a bookstore downtown. It was nothing fancy, creaky floors, a leaky faucet, a mattress on the floor. But it was mine. For the first time in years, I could hear my own thoughts without second-guessing if they were wrong. At night, I wrote not poetry, not letters, just pages and pages of things I couldn't say out loud. Today, I saw a couple in the grocery store. He kissed her forehead while she picked cereal. I stood frozen in the soup aisle, and couldn't he breathe. Some nights, I still sleep on the edge of the bed, leaving room for her ghost. I don't miss her. I miss the version of me that believed she loved me. Therapy became routine. Mondays at 4 p.m. I sat in the same chair and spilled every memory like broken glass on a table. My therapist was patient. She let me rage. Let me cry. Let me sit in silence when the words couldn't find their way out. Why did I stay, I asked once, my voice barely a whisper. She said, because you loved the idea of her more than the reality. And that broke something open. For years, I thought love meant endurance. That staying made me stronger. But sometimes survival is the braver act. I started going for long walks in the early mornings. The city was quiet, and just me and the streetlights. I'd walk to the lake, sit on a bench and watch the sunrise, paint the water in colors I'd forgotten existed. I made a friend, an old man, who walked his golden retriever every morning. We didn't tick-tock much at first, just nodded. Then one day he sat next to me and said, "She broke you, didn't she?" I laughed, or maybe I sobbed. It was hard to tell. He said happened to me once. 30 years ago. Thought I'd die from it. But I didn't. You won't either. Months passed. I got stronger. I didn't check her social media anymore. Didn't he reread her last message? Didn't he flinch when someone said her name? I started dating again slowly. Awkward coffee dates. Polite dinners. I wasn't looking for love. Just connection. One woman, Sarah, asked me point blank, "Are you over her?" I said I'm not holding on to her anymore. And that was the truth. A year after I left, I ran into her. It was a grocery store. Funny the way life loops back. She looked older, tired, but still beautiful in that effortless way that once undid me. We stood in silence. Then she said, "You look good." I smiled. "So do you." She glanced at the ring finger I no longer wore, then said, "I'm sorry." I nodded. I know there was nothing else to say. Not anymore. And as I walked away, I realized something. I didn't need closure, because I had built something better. Peace. That night, I sat on my balcony, wine in hand, city buzzing below, and wrote one final letter I would never send. I loved you so hard, I forgot to love myself. But I remember now, and that is enough. This is my goodbye, not to her, but to the version of me that didn't. He believed he deserved more. And if you're reading this, holding your own story of betrayal close to your chest, just know you're not weak for hurting. You're not broken for staying too long. And you're not lost forever. Sometimes the greatest love story is the one where you finally choose yourself. The end.